Trade tensions between the U.S. and Canada, a comprehensive analysis. Trade tensions between the United States and Canada escalated dramatically when former President Donald Trump imposed a shocking 25% tariff on steel, aluminum, and auto parts. This bold and controversial move sent ripples through the global economy, disrupting supply chains and igniting a retaliatory response from Canada. In this article, we delve into the immediate fallout, Canada's countermove, and the broader implications for trade relations between the two nations. Immediate fallout of the 25% tariff. The imposition of the 25% tariff by the U.S. marked a seismic shift in the trade relationship between the two neighboring nations. U.S. automakers, heavily reliant on Canadian steel and aluminum, were immediately affected. Costs surged as manufacturers scrambled to source materials from alternative markets, leading to increased production expenses and, ultimately, higher prices for consumers. On the Canadian side, exporters faced declining revenues as the U.S. market, their largest trading partner, became more restrictive. The ripple effects extended beyond the two nations, disrupting global supply chains. Countries with trade dependencies on North America experienced uncertainty as market dynamics shifted dramatically.
Canada's strategic response. Canada,
refusing to back down, launched a powerful countermeasure. Ottawa targeted U.S. goods with tariffs of its own, focusing on politically significant sectors to exert pressure. In addition, Canada leveraged its energy exports as a strategic tool to combat the tariffs. The Canadian government accelerated efforts to diversify energy markets, aiming to reduce dependence on U.S. buyers by expanding partnerships with European and Asian nations. This strategic counterattack sent a clear message to Washington. Canada was willing to defend its economic interests and would not passively accept protectionist measures. Impact on the auto industry. The automotive industry bore the brunt of the tariffs on both sides of the border. U.S. car manufacturers faced a crisis as the cost of imported Canadian auto parts skyrocketed. This disruption forced companies to reassess their supply chains, delay production schedules, and cut back on output. In Canada, auto plants struggled to maintain operations as U.S. tariffs restricted their largest export market. Job losses loomed in both countries, highlighting the interconnected nature of the North American auto industry. The crisis underscored the vulnerability of highly integrated supply chains to sudden policy shifts.
Mexico's strategic response amid the trade tensions.
Mexico seized the opportunity to diversify its trade relationships and reduce its dependence on the U.S. market. Mexico increased outreach to European and Asian countries, negotiating new trade agreements and strengthening existing partnerships. By positioning itself as a viable alternative for global trade, Mexico mitigated some of the risks associated with U.S.-Canada tensions.
Canada's push for energy independence. In the wake of the tariffs,
Canada prioritized energy diversification as a long-term strategy. The government invested heavily in infrastructure projects, such as pipelines to coastal regions, to facilitate energy exports to Europe and Asia. This push for energy independence aimed to reduce reliance on the U.S. market and shield Canada from future trade conflicts. The diversification strategy also aligned with Canada's climate goals, as the nation explored renewable energy sources and green technologies. By leveraging its rich natural resources and technological expertise, Canada positioned itself as a leader in the global energy transition. Economic repercussions. The economic fallout of the trade war extended beyond the immediate impact on industries. Both the U.S. and Canadian economies experienced a slowdown in GDP growth. For the U.S., higher production costs led to inflationary pressures, while Canadian exporters faced declining revenues and reduced market access. Small businesses in both nations were disproportionately affected, struggling to adapt to the new trade environment. The uncertainty surrounding tariffs also dampened investor confidence, leading to reduced capital flows and economic stagnation. Future of U.S.-Canada trade relations. Despite the tensions, there remains hope for a resolution. Both nations have a shared history of strong economic ties and mutual benefits from trade. Diplomacy will play a crucial role in shaping the future of U.S.-Canada relations. A new trade deal that addresses the concerns of both parties could pave the way for renewed cooperation. Such an agreement would likely include provisions for fair trade practices, dispute resolution mechanisms, and safeguards against unilateral tariff impositions. Conclusion. The trade war between the U.S. and Canada highlights the complexities of modern global trade and the far-reaching consequences of protectionist policies. While the immediate fallout disrupted industries and strained relations, it also prompted strategic adaptations, such as Canada's push for energy diversification and Mexico's trade outreach. As the two nations navigate these challenges, the potential for a stronger, more resilient trade partnership remains. The future of North American trade will depend on the ability of policymakers to find common ground and build a framework that balances national interests with global economic stability. The stakes are high, but so too are the opportunities for collaboration and growth in a rapidly evolving global market. Thanks for watching this comprehensive analysis. Feel free to share your insights or thoughts on the implications of trade policies. How do you envision the future of U.S.-Canada trade relations? Let us know in the comments below.